I think Kishani is a serious talent.
Her career is just beginning to really flourish, and take off.
Kishani Jayasinghe came to the University of Nottingham from Sri Lanka.
From the very first time I met her, she mentioned that she sang, and although it was very clear that she enjoyed studying law, it was also very clear that music was her first love.
We've got about 6 or 7 very active student music societies.
Well, I first met Kishani when she was booked to do a performance of Poulenc's Gloria with the University Choir and Orchestra. In the Poulenc Gloria, the very first time the soprano comes up is always quite a tense moment for the conductor, because she has to float in on a really high note, a top F sharp. And as a conductor, you're always waiting to hear the sound. Will it be the sound you want? And I can honestly say, when she opened her mouth and sung, I thought, wow, that's the first time I've ever heard the sound that in my mind's ear I've always wanted to hear on that note. It was just sublime. It was beautifully controlled, exquisitely emotional. I just thought, oh, I'm going to enjoy this today.
Somebody said to her, you must go and study with Pam Cook, because she is one of the finest singing teachers in the United Kingdom, and she's just up the road in Mansfield.
As soon as she walked through the door, I thought there's really a strong personality here, a lovely, delightful personality, and it was apparent to me fairly quickly that it was quite a stunning voice.
It's rich, it can be light. There are just so many dimensions to the voice, which means when she's singing a text, she can follow all the twists and the turns in the text and underpin them emotionally in a very subtle and flexible way.
From the Royal Academy of Music, having 4 years there, 2 as a postgraduate, 2 on the opera course, she went then to the Royal Opera House Young Singers Scheme.
Obviously the Covent Garden is the pinnacle in the operatic world, not just in the UK but internationally.
We recruit singers, conductors, pianists and directors from all over the world. Select 10 singers who spend 2 seasons here at the Opera House doing small roles, understudying principal roles. Basically you have to be one of the 5 out of the 250 best, most promising singers in the world. Kishani is a soprano, and generally half the applicants are sopranos, so I think the year she applied there were 141, and I think we took 2. She was one of them.
When I went down to see her at the Royal Opera House, I mean, it was apparent really that when she's on the stage, she lights up the stage. Even if she was in a small role, you couldn't really take your eyes off when she was on stage. There was something about the personality that illuminates the stage somehow.
She's since gone on to win major international competitions.
But she's also incredibly generous as a person, and we've seen that with her work with the University of Nottingham over the last 3 or 4 years, where she's come back and performed with the university choir and orchestra.
I think Kishani has a tremendous future in front of her, because she has the versatility, clearly as a concert performer, but as an opera performer. So she seems to me, with that flexibility, she can go in all sorts of directions.
In 10 years' time, who knows? Fantastic, fantastic, so exciting, and I'm so proud of her.
Please welcome Kishani Jayasinghe.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, and I am quite floored because I had no idea there was this presentation, and the people who spoke in it I admire and love dearly, and there's no greater compliment, I think, than to have that kind of feeling come from your colleagues and your superiors and friends. So I'm quite floored and quite staggered. It's almost equal to being here tonight to actually be eligible for something like this, because I think when I was at university it never crossed my mind that I would be standing here at this moment, and I feel extremely privileged to be thought worthy of this honour. I have no hesitation in saying that Nottingham University changed my life. It was 4 of the best years of my life. Perhaps not entirely for the reasons that you would imagine, because I didn't go on to follow this incredible career in law, as I think has been quite clear, and I'm so happy to...
There's 2 of us.
There's 2 of us, that's great. But it did do. It led me to Nottingham, and therefore through a bizarre sequence of coincidences, I think, through the new theatre, to a summer school, to a professor of the head of a vocal conservatoire in London, who led me to Pamela Cook, who is sitting in the side at my table there. And she is the lady who changed my life, really, quite literally, and gave me the courage and the belief that I could and I should follow this dream, really. Growing up in Asia, it's not something that you envisage. Everyone becomes a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or an accountant, and that's just how it goes. And suddenly there was this possibility of doing something else, of following a dream. And she gave me the courage to do that. So I have no words of how to say thank you for that. Also, just a couple of other things along the way, that I was also extremely fortunate to have parents, albeit Asian and fantastically forward-thinking, and who encouraged me also to chuck 3 years of an LLB and 1 year of an LLM and dump it all to go and try and become a singer. So it was fantastic that they said, follow your heart and life is too short. So it was wonderful to have that support. But also, I have to say thank you to Catherine and to Shauna for putting me up for this at all. And I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. And as I have to say, I had a moment where I felt quite akin, because my tutor from my undergraduate years is sitting at my table. And I got the shock of my life to see her, and I felt I should apologize for not having done more with law as well. But hopefully she's forgiven me for that tonight. And in many ways, I think it's a wonderful blessing to be able to do what you love and call it your work. And Nottingham gave me that opportunity. The last person I will mention is my darling husband. He unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. But as he said to me before I left, he said, it's okay, honey, because I'm there with you, and perhaps it's not a bad thing that tonight you're accompanied by our son who's due in December, and he said that perhaps he can get a head start, because he'll actually get to go to Nottingham long before I do, and 3 months early, so there you go. So thank you very much again, and I'm very grateful to all wonderful friends and who've been here tonight, and for the wonderful time that I've had here, and indeed for this incredible honor. Thank you very much.